The San Antonio housing market continues to thrive. A look at the high rate of local student loan defaults, and Port San Antonio seeing some considerable growth. Breaking down some of the week's biggest business stories tonight, San Antonio Express News business editor and columnist Greg Jefferson. As always, thanks for being here.
Thank you.
Let's talk about the student loan debt topic first. So what did this new data find?
Well, this is from the Dallas Fed. They released it about 2 weeks ago, and it found that we have a bunch of delinquent student loans in Bexar County. The highest percentage in among major counties in Texas. So our rate is 13.1% delinquency on student loans. That is huge.
Wow.
I mean, considering that in 2003 the delinquent loan rate for Bexar County was about 5.3, that's a big deal.
Wow,
it's quite a jump over that time.
Double.
And like I said, this is like that rate of increase from 2003 to 2018 is the highest in the state among big cities. So it's something to really be concerned about. And you have to question why it is that college graduates are having a hard time, repaying their loans.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering, is if this information took into account any sort of reasons behind these
No,
defaults.
it didn't. I checked with the economists who did the report. They don't really go into reasons. They offer possible explanations. For San Antonio, this is a low-wage city, and that extends into kind of professional services, teachers, nurses. They make typically less than they would in Houston, Dallas, and Austin. So that may be one reason. Another reason certainly is because of the rising rate of tuition. Like tuition just across the board, whether you're talking about state schools or private schools, it's just exploding. And that's kind of reflected also in the delinquency rate.
Okay. And now the article in the Express News about this pointed out there might be a silver lining in some of these
Well, it's funny.
numbers.
So this was from my column, and I tried, I was trying to not be such a downer about it. So about midway through, I mean, well, it blew up in my face, basically. So, yeah, about midway in the column, I said, look, there is a bright side to this. It means that, San Antonio, which traditionally has had kind of a low rate of college degree attainment, just not a lot of people with bachelor's, master's, and doctorates. This means that, more San Antonians are, getting their degrees, like they are, or at least trying to get their
Pursuing
degrees.
them.
Yeah, pursuing them, right. So they're going to college, they're getting their certificates, they're trying to get their bachelor's, master's, and all of that. But they're still delinquent. So, I mean, the good news only goes so far before it becomes bad news again.
Sure. Let's talk about the housing market here locally. October, a great month for San Antonio home sales.
I mean, it was like a gangbuster month. It was a 12% increase in sales kind of year over year. So that's from October 2018 to October 2019. You had a 12% increase. That's just remarkable. I mean, it's a red hot market. And that's also reflected in the prices. I mean, the median price went up about 6% to about 200. It was more than $250,000 per house.
Oh, wow.
And your supply of available homes for sale, it's not robust. So builders are they're constructing houses as quickly as they can. But you still have only roughly a 3-month supply. That means it would take, 3 months for all buyers available, all buyers looking today to snatch up all of the available housing stock. That's pretty tight. That's a really tight market. So if you're a seller, you're kind of in control. I mean, it's a good, if you're thinking about selling your house, now is the time to do it. You're going to get probably a premium on what you would normally get.
Yeah, I noticed the article in the Express News about this pointed out that it's hard to keep a home on the market that is under 300, under 250. They're going.
They're being, and that also has to do with the fact that there's just not a lot of affordable housing in San Antonio. So if a house comes on the market that is, somewhere around, 150,000 to about 250, they're getting snapped up quickly. I mean, just because, there's a gap, just kind of a shortage of that kind of housing, starter housing, essentially, and people are just buying them up quickly.
And people continue to come to San Antonio.
Oh yeah, and that's another factor. You've got, you've got population projections having about 1 million people moving in over the next 20, 25 years. And hey, guess what? They want to live somewhere, so it's either a house or an apartment, and there are a lot of apartments going up too. And subsequently, you're seeing rents climb, just like you're seeing home prices climb.
Port SA. We have talked here on the News at 9 about the really explosion that's happening at Port SA. So many new jobs and projects that are planned for that area.
I mean, as far as jobs, you've had, it's really been remarkable. You've got 2,000 new jobs at Port San Antonio, either there already or announced just in the last 2 years. So there's that. And the port is really trying to bring in a lot of startups, where before they were kind of targeting major employers like Boeing and Standard Aero, who do have operations there. Now they're looking for cybersecurity companies and smaller tech firms. And kind of in line with that, the Port's Board of Directors yesterday approved some initial funding for what they're calling an innovation center. This is like a geek's paradise. It's a gaming arena for, literally, it's like something you would see on Twitch. It's like video game players, video gamers, I guess they call them.
Gamers, I think that's what they're called, yes.
Gamers. Anyway, so yeah, it's a physical arena for them to play in and for like this audience to watch. I don't know how much fun that's going to be, but people apparently fill these kinds of stadiums around the country. We'll have one here, and kind of adjoining that will be a technology museum, which I always felt like in San Antonio, like you could probably fit a tech museum like in a closet, because I didn't think there was that much there, but apparently there's enough to fill out a pretty decently sized museum.
And
I guess I was wrong about that.
Like you were saying, a space for some of these startups that they're
exactly,
hoping to bring to town as well.
It sounds very similar to what you see in Geekdom downtown, just kind of office space for startups that can't afford, to rent, an elaborate office or their own building. They can rent some flex space at this innovation center.
I thought this was an interesting number to point out that was noted in the Express News article. Port SA will soon employ 13,000 people, which is more than the 11,000 civilian employees that were at what was formerly Kelly Air Force Base.
They've reached a tipping point that they've been trying to reach for years. Ever since they started trying to convert what is now Port San Antonio from the former Kelly Air Force Base. That's been the goal. To more than replace what was there before. But if you take the longer view, Kelly Airfield, at its peak had more than, I think it was 40,000 civilian employees. So it's far down from that, but from what you had just 15 years ago, it's pretty impressive.
It's progress.
Oh yeah,
in
a lot
the
of progress.
area.
Quite a bit.
All right, Greg, thanks for being here.
Yeah, thank you.